All right, what's up, everybody? Ready for the pod?
Yo,
Last week before the playoffs, I'm going to try and
Cracking it open.
step in for Savini here and guide us. All right. So what's up, guys? How we doing?
Good. Excited for my first debut.
define
we're glad
good.
to have you on.
My team's in fucking is a shit show.
Yeah, Grizz, you're stumbling right into the playoffs.
Not a good stumble. It's not even a good drunk. It's just I'm blacked out and I'm walking into fucking doors.
Yeah, dude.
Me at the redraft, you're just falling backwards.
Oh man, dude,
Yeah,
that was one of
both
the worst.
of them.
Yeah, I mean that was brutal. Yeah, I mean we can just kind of dive right into it.
Yep.
I mean, we got my game versus you. I think this is a pretty important game, but not the most important game. The most important game is obviously Brian and Savini.
Yeah, for the bye. Yeah.
So this is a big game because I obviously need to win to keep my playoff hopes alive, and I need to score well.
Yep. Yeah.
For
me,
Nikki had a good week last week.
Yes, he did. Yeah, but he scored a lot last week.
He scored like 170.
So I'm locked in, but for me, it determines whether I'm 4th seed or 5th seed, I believe.
Which doesn't matter because
you gotta play each other anyways.
You'll play the same person.
I think there's a chance that I could fall down this 6th spot, but I know I'm locked in.
Yeah, I don't think you'll fall the 6. No, you can't fall.
No,
you
can't fall.
You can't fall the 6. You're either 4 or 5, and which means you play the same person regardless because the 4 and 5 plays each other.
Right. Okay.
So I don't think that changes anything. But this is me and Grizz's matchup. So Brian, I'll kick it to you first. What do you think about this one?
I think that Grizz is pretty risky right now. I think that having just 2 quarterbacks you can really start. I mean, you got Allen, but who cares about that? So I think you're not looking too good. I think Hitch, you're coming on. Although Hitch, you have some injuries too right now.
Just Swift really. So Swift and just Swift really.
I mean, you got Dobbins. Dobbins, we don't know if he's coming back yet.
No, and
off of COVID.
It'll just be Taylor if he's out.
And then,
but if Swift plays, it'll probably be Swift.
Yeah, you're also starting a quarterback that's never thrown a touchdown pass.
Hey, he's already ran for like 4 touchdowns.
That's another issue.
So.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely going to you have to have the rushing upside with Murray and him.
So, I mean, I got to score this week. So I just got to swing for the fences. I can't just score, 120, 130. I got to score like 150, 160 to have a shot.
Yeah, that's definitely your issue is winning doesn't really matter for you right now. You have to win, but you also need to outscore Nicky.
I need to outscore Bubs by 57 if he loses and I win, and I need to outscore Nicky by 45 if he loses and I win.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I mean, they're very
win-win. I'm sorry, win-win because Bubs has to lose because I'm 1 game behind him, so he has to lose and I have to win. But Nicky is playing Tim, so he can't lose. So, I mean, I really don't think he has. I mean, Tim doesn't even have a second quarterback now because Dimes is definitely not playing.
Oh yeah,
he literally doesn't have a second QB to start. So.
No Burrow. He's just basically relying on Alex Smith, and Alex Smith might get you 10 points.
Alex Smith, and right now he's got Jalen Hurts in there, which I love because I love that he's going to try because Nicky losing is good for him because he has Nicky's draft pick. So I love that he's trying.
When you go with Colt McCoy if you're trying though?
I mean, maybe he's going to pick him up. I don't think he has him.
He's got him on his taxi.
He has him.
He has him?
Because I went to go pick him up.
Well, I guess he's got some knowledge that we don't then because Jalen Hurts is in right now.
He might get like 1 or 2 snaps where at least Colt McCoy is going to have every snap where he should have.
I didn't know he had McCoy. I overlooked that. What do you think about this one, Chris? How you feeling this week?
I mean, obviously, I need Connor to be coming back. I'm expecting Lamar and Connor to be back to play for next week. But I mean, I like my players. They're just not performing. I mean, I need Julio to play.
Ever a week for Lamar, this is it. Like against the Cowboys. Like if there was ever a week for him to hit, it's this one.
Well, also, I don't necessarily need this game. So if I'm not going to be devastated if Lamar takes the week off because of COVID or whatever. Connor,
No.
whatever.
But you would you could use the confidence boost though. Like if you
Yes, I
you
can use
wouldn't-
confidence, but it's not to me. It's not like I'm locked in. I'd rather do something like Julio Jones. You know what? Sit out and then get.
he's not playing. He's not playing.
Right, and I'd rather have him fully healthy for the first playoff week, and
Right.
so that's where I'm looking at it. The fact that Gary laid down and gave up for this year helped me get in, and now I can just get healthy and just swing for the fences at this point in the playoffs. I mean, I'm not feeling confident by any means.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much paved the path for you to get in no matter what.
I mean, I came in real hot in the first 5-6 weeks where I was putting up 150 plus every week.
Yeah.
And then everybody just cooled off. So
Well, it's because they stopped letting Russ cook. They're just going back to their old bullshit again.
And Lamar. I mean, if Lamar's, as I said last week, Lamar's schedule is really good at the end of the year here. If he can pull his weight, and Carson's back now, if Connor can they start running the ball, being it's winter time now. Julio Jones gets healthy. Got Woods, Cooper, Ingram is starting to pop a little bit.
Yep.
So I mean, as I said, I think I have a team that could win the Super Bowl, but I'm not feeling confident now like I was.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely behind the 8 ball when it comes to Savini and Brian. Like
I still think I have a team that could still. I think I could win any other.
Anything could happen any week, but I mean,
anyone can win any game. We've seen that before. Like Timmy has 3 wins this year.
Yeah, well, no. Also, I'm saying like just for the fact that my guys ceiling. If you start adding my guys ceilings like Wilson and Lamar and Julio,
that's what's going to win it for you. That's what's it. Yeah. That's it right there.
What I'm saying is, I think my team legitimately can compete with any of them. They just, they're not producing right now. Unfortunately, I still like my team a lot. Just it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm confident. I'm not. So.
Yeah. All right, so we'll do next game. Savini keeps the tabs on the picks. We'll just do the picks, but I'm not keeping tallies because
you know what, Savini, when you're watching this, put it on a piece of paper for us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with Hitch on this. First time I'm gonna go betting against myself.
Well, right now you don't have a QB and Julio is definitely not going to play, so I'll take myself on this one too.
Yeah, that makes 3.
Yeah. Exactly.
All
there
around.
you go.
All right. So don't even have to talk about the Nicky and Goose. We all think Nicky's going to win. Tim hasn't scored more than 100 points in 4 weeks and doesn't have a second QB. So we'll skip right over that one.
This game should be good right here. Freaking
Sam and Bubs. This is a big game. I want to save the most time for the important game at the end, the battle for first place. So
okay.
But this is an important game too because if Sam wins this game, gets a bye. I mean, is he already locked into the bye or
no? If he wins, he gets the bye because either me or Savini have to lose, and then one of us will drop below him.
But you guys are both like substantially ahead of him in points, though. So if he loses,
But it doesn't matter. If he loses, he doesn't get the bye basically.
Right. Okay. So he has to win. He has to win to get the bye.
Yeah.
And if he wins, all right. Well. And he can't be in first. So he either is going to be in second place or third place, basically. Right. I mean, Bubs' team is, hit a little bit of a rough patch these last couple weeks.
He's in the same situation as I am. I mean, he's got Hopkins, he's got these studs, and Big Ben could put up numbers. Just, these teams just not producing. So
he's had a rough year with injuries too. Like he lost Barkley.
Huge.
Chark's
been banged up for a good portion of the year.
Yeah. And
Hopkins cooled off.
Yeah, he did really cool off, and Galladay's obviously been out. I mean,
the Broncos have been in shambles, which kills Gordon.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got to play Darnold this week. I mean, that's a fucking shit show in New York.
Yeah, Goff's got a great matchup against Arizona.
Josh
Allen's been, decent all year. He's been pretty matchup dependent, but he's playing.
Henry and Eckler in there.
Henry, this time of year is always great.
Yep. Because
monster.
we've all played football in the cold, and no, that's the last thing you really truly want to do is hit somebody
Exactly,
when
yeah.
you're freezing, especially that guy that size. You just don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Especially if
clearly,
your team is a terrible team and you're not playing for anything. You're like,
and he just got Eckler back too. So I mean the guy who had what
yep,
16 targets last week and 15 carries or something like that.
Crazy.
He had like a crazy workload last week, and the Chargers suck, so he's definitely going to be used. I think this is pretty clearly. Sam.
it's Sam. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
Just because like T Higgins doesn't have Burrow. I'm running. I mean, that's
right. Kareem Hunt hasn't really done much since Chubb has been back. He hasn't even really been using the passing game that much.
I mean, even at tight end, I think there's definitely clear edge with Goddard over Hooper, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
I mean, the flex, that could be a coin toss, but I like his wide receivers drastically this particular week. So
Bubs has just got to score this week. He's got to be, he can't lay like a 90, 100 point egg. He's got to be like in that 120, 140 range to make sure he gets in.
Yeah, he'd really have to hit the bed to miss the playoffs.
But you know what though? If you start looking at it, it's very possible. And then because unfortunately he's playing Darnold, that could easily
57 points is not that much. Like, I mean, it's a healthy chunk, but
it's a lot.
But not if you put up 160 and he puts up 110, there's 50. I mean, that's a very realistic. Those are realistic numbers, and
right.
That's 50 points right there.
You don't need you need more one team to just underperform than one team to overperform. I mean, obviously.
That's what I'm saying, though. Are you looking at his team? Is that really underperforming, or is that what it's going to put up? Because Darnold, I mean, he's projected 17. I would expect him to possibly even get 12. And, Big Ben, okay, that's his, I like Big Ben. Gordon, I could see just flopping this week. Hunt is no guarantee with Nick Chubb back, and they playing Tennessee. The defense is typically decent over there. And then Higgins, I mean, who knows with that Brandon Allen character. And then you got, Diggs and Hopkins couldn't put up points, but I mean, Shark with that
Sam
out there in
just got the edge. Like I'm just
everywhere. saying, no, I don't. I see it's gonna be tough for him to win this week, just for the players he has in at the moment,
right?
And their situations, but I can see him falling behind in points too because
right. So even if he wins, so like say he gets the 6 spot and Nikki gets the 5 spot, because I don't outscore him. Even if he does lose, he's just gonna turn around and play Sam again next week if Sam doesn't win this or no. So no, he can't play Sam because they're playing each other this week. So
no, he can't. They can play.
He still can. Yeah.
If he beats, oh no, because he would have to beat. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, so he would have to win against Sam this week. So no, they can't run it back and play each other.
No. If Sam beats him and Bubs falls to 6, then that's 3 versus 6. They play each other next week.
Yeah.
No, if Sam wins, he's the 2 seed. At least.
Oh right, yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, if Sam wins, he's going to be the 2 seed.
Boyani or Ant will be playing.
That would be a fucking brutal first round matchup. Oh my god.
Yeah, that 6 seed's in a rough spot either way.
Oh yeah, that is a rough spot because actually I didn't even think about this till now. Like if he loses, which is, I mean, based on how we just talked it out, is looking likely, then he has a very good chance to play one of you two the first week. I didn't even think about this. So whoever gets that 6 spot, if Sam wins this week, is going to be playing Savini or Brian. Probably more likely. Well, no, because they're playing each other, so it could be either of them at one, whichever one of them loses this week, and they're both.
And you know what? Looking at it for me, granted, I never really expected to have a bye going into the year, so this is actually pretty prime for me to have the 4th or 5th spot that I've given myself now, because I don't have to play one of the top teams. And my team's actually getting healthier as each week goes on, as long as I don't have any setbacks with any injuries. So it gives me this week and then the following week to kind of really get healthy till I have to play one of the more premium rosters.
Right. That's going to be interesting because that is a tough draw for the 6th seed to get Savini or Brian. That's a tough draw.
Yeah, but but
To go to the Super Bowl, you're probably going to have, as a 6th seed, you're probably going to have to be either me or Savini at the 3 seed. Then you're going to have to play probably Sam, and then probably Savini in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you might have to be all 3.
You're going to have to play all 3. Yeah, that's crazy.
which you know what?
I don't
See,
know. Good thing I don't own my own pick,
tough.
so I got nothing to lose.
No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, as long as I made the playoffs, I didn't care because then I already knew that I was not going to be a lottery pick. So I'm like,
right.
Fuck it,
Yeah. No, that's good. All right, let's just dive right into the first place game, because whoever wins the game is going to be in first after this week.
I'm assuming we're all going with Sam. We're all going with Sam, right? Just for regular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take Sam. That was interesting, though. I'm glad we uncovered that because I did not think about that yet.
Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's a nice. It's a pretty cool scenario.
Yeah, no, for sure. So basically, it's going to be me, Bubs, or Nikki playing.
Yeah.
If Bubs doesn't win this week. Interesting. Did not even think about that. All right, Grizz, I'll kick it to you first. What do you think about this one? Battle for first. Who you got?
Man, they're 2 powerhouses, and I mean, Wentz. I'm obviously I'm gonna have to go with Savini at quarterback right off the bat, just because Wentz has been iffy, and that Ryan's, he's had some decent weeks.
Saints defense has been pretty good too.
Yeah, plus the matchup. And Mahomes is Mahomes and Watson. Watson has had his weapons. We got Fuller is gone now. Basically, as far as I'm concerned, for the fantasy football season, he's gone. He's out. He's done for the year. He's a little cheating bastard. Only reason why he was staying healthy.
I'm not really. I will say I'm not really as concerned about the matchup for Matt Ryan, because they usually just get trucked. And they're just down.
Julio Jones isn't playing though, and
right. But if they're down, 24-0 in the third quarter, he's just going to be chucking. He's basically a lock for the bonus, Matt Ryan.
But the thing is, we've seen when Julio Jones is not on the field, you see a completely different Matt Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just not as concerned about Ryan as I am about Wentz, but obviously Savini has Mahomes. Watson, it's definitely a ding, though. I mean, the Colts defense wasn't great last week against Henry, but it's a division game. So, I mean, I would not be surprised if Watson struggled this week. We'll probably see him run a little bit more than he normally does, but losing Fuller is definitely a ding to Watson. It's definitely not a positive.
The way I look at it is like Mahomes is definitely going to beat Matt Ryan and Wentz, and then Watson's probably going to match Wentz or Matt Ryan. So that's where I just give that there. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed in Josh going to the running back. Kind of disappointed in
he didn't practice. He didn't practice 2 straight days. He might not play.
Yeah,
he had that first really
such a good matchup.
I think
Hitch, too.
You said that in the beginning of the year, Hitch.
What?
That Jacobs, like, he had that one good first week one matchup.
He played the Panthers. They've been the worst run defense in the league.
And then you called it. You said he was going to cool off and not be with all the matches.
He's so talented, man. His day will come. The Raiders are actually like winning games. Like, I think his day will come. I just don't think it's here.
Oh, the talent is there. Oh, the talent's definitely.
And they've been throwing him the ball more, which was the biggest rub on him coming into the season. So, I mean, there are some positives for Jacobs for sure going into next season, but I mean, he might not even play in this game, so it's really hard to say.
Plus, he's playing the Jets this week, so that's a prime spot.
Chubb's been awesome, though. Chubb's been fucking awesome.
Yep.
Chubb's been phenomenal.
Cook worries me because I know he's playing the Jags. Dream matchup, awesome spot, but he's banged up. So how much work does he get? What if whoever the fuck the quarterback is, Mike Glennon, throws a pick 6 in the first quarter, and then they drive down, score a touchdown quick. They're up 17-0, at the half, and they don't really need to use them that much in the second half. Those scenarios definitely.
That's fair.
Those scenarios definitely exist for a guy like Cook. Jones has. I mean, he's due. He's due, but he hasn't really.
Everything's been going to Adams.
So the running backs are kind of a wash for me, honestly.
I
just
agree.
because I'm a
What do you
little
think?
wor-
What do you think, Brian?
I'm a little
What's your opinion on the? Well, do you think your matchups are better, or do you think your players are better? Do you think that's even matchup?
At
Cook has the
quarterback,
best matchup.
Start at quarterback.
Yeah. At quarterback, I think that people aren't really people are down on Ryan and Wentz, but if you actually look at it, they haven't been as terrible as people think. They're still both 13, 12. They're still right on the QB1 cusp. They haven't been as bad as people think
agree.
they are.
Recently, Wentz has been really bad, though.
Yeah, so is Ryan, too. Like, that Ryan's combined 21
but last week they were winning,
games.
and they didn't have to really throw that much. That's where all Ryan's value comes from, not because he's actually, like, good or anything.
I mean, Ryan's a good quarterback. Let's not go that far. But
I mean, he's just old, and
he's old.
Sucks.
Chubb's obviously a beast, and he's going to have a great game. Jacobs, the thing that sucks about Jacobs being hurt this week is that Ronald Jones is on a bye. So that's another top 10 running back that I could have put in there, but on a bye week, he can't do anything. Joe Mixon's on IR. So if Jacobs can't go, I guess I'm going to go with Booker, who's been pretty decent this year. He actually hasn't been too bad.
I picked him up in redraft.
It's not a bad play. I mean,
but obviously against Cook and Jones, that's a severe downgrade.
Yeah, but I mean, Jones, we're kind of seeing the same thing with Jones that we saw last year. Like, he doesn't play like a huge snap share, and
he relies on big plays and touchdowns.
Touchdowns.
For his ceilings. But he's also his RB2, so you look at it that way.
I mean, they rotate like 2 or 3 running backs, and I don't know. Like, I feel like when Adams is out, that is when he is at his best, because they just don't. Rodgers just doesn't trust anybody else to throw to.
This is true. This is true because last year when Adams was hurt, that's when Aaron Jones.
He was the leading receiver when Adams was out last year for 4 games.
And that's what That's why, like, during the offseason, that was everybody's concerns. About drafting them, like, in redraft, where to draft them, because they're like, well, if Adams is going to be completely healthy, ready to go, what is Aaron Jones' ceiling? What's his, floor?
He's just been like,
you just don't know when Jones or Adams is in there.
Right. I mean, really, since that 48-point game in week 2, we just really haven't seen a whole lot from him. I mean, he missed the 2 games in week 7 and week 8, so I mean that could be part of it. They want to save him for the playoffs because obviously they're a good team. They're going to the playoffs. Just hard to rely on him right now.
Yeah, 1 touchdown in the last 6 weeks for a guy who really depends on touchdowns is a tough ask.
Yeah, for sure. Jones is, I mean, his name is a big name, but he's just not really given that wow factor. I mean, the guy who does, though, is Hill. Obviously coming off the 60 burger.
Yeah.
Argument
crazy.
could be made for him that he's the most valuable flex eligible player in fantasy right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because Kamara's, huge ding with Taysom Hill starting. Cook is a little banged up right now. I mean, Hill's usage has been ridiculous. The last 3 weeks, he's been like 33% target share. I think his lowest target game in the last 3 weeks is like 14 targets. His volume has been like absolutely absurd, and it's quality volume from Mahomes. So, I mean, this dude literally could drop, 50 again, like easily he could have 50.
Yeah. Because, I mean, at this point, what's Denver playing for?
And we're talking 50. Like, I mean, he could easily just have like 30, 35, which for him feels like
a low, but it's not.
Right. 30, 35 from a receiver. Like, you're like almost guaranteed to win your matchup if you get 35 points from a wide receiver. Like, Hill's
and then you obviously Boyani, you got, Allen on a bye, that kind of, that puts a damper on your wide receiver.
And he has Mahomes, so he's getting double points from all those. So it's like,
yes. Yeah.
Right.
You literally just can't win. Thomas, though, I will say, had a great game when Hill played against the Falcons the last time. He had like 10 catches for 100 yards or something.
Was Breeze playing? I know they played.
No. It was 2. It was the Hill's first start was against Falcons 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So, and Thomas had a good game. So
the volume's still going to be there for Thomas.
For sure. That's the guy. That's they run all the plays for Thomas majority of the time.
And he runs very quarterback-friendly routes, too. Like, he stays in the
short
scrimmage. He doesn't really need the quarterback doesn't need to do much to get in the ball.
Yeah.
But the same thing with –
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that unfortunately the same thing reason why Kamara is taking a hit is Taysom Hill is he's a lot of plays designed to run the ball, and that's what you're gonna see. That's why I think Thomas's ceiling is probably not like it used to be when Breeze is in
Thomas has never been a
playing,
ceiling
so.
guy though. He's always been a floor guy. He's
No,
always
but
been.
people PPR. What I'm saying though, like if Taysom Hill is going to have a lot more runs and stuff like that, it's going to take away how many targets you get to Thomas.
Right. So last week, Taysom Hill only had to throw 16 passes. This week, they're not playing against somebody who never played any position in the NFL, let alone quarterback. So that's going to be a little bit of a different, game environment. So let's say Hill throws 30 pass attempts, which for today's NFL is still pretty low, 25 to 30. Thomas's target share is, if he's not throwing to Kamara much because he's not doing dump offs because he's a runner, let's say Thomas is probably going to get 40% of those targets. Thomas is probably seeing 10 targets in this game minimum.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair.
And then Thielen, great matchup against the Jags.
Yep. Is he finally fully healthy again?
Yeah,
he is active. Yeah, he's good.
I think he's good, and it was just COVID, so I mean, I'm sure he was like asymptomatic or whatever.
Well, no, I know his shoulder was banged up too at some point, but
Kelsey's the real advantage, though. Kelsey is the real advantage.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the tight end scoring, he's over 200 PPR, and the next closest is Waller at 147, and then Hawkinson at like 130. So it's
a huge advantage.
He has lapped the field.
Yeah, you're just playing a wide receiver every week, like an elite wide receiver every week at tight end.
Yeah, I think
there's Keenan Allen.
Okay, I think flex eligibility wise, Kelsey is like the 5th or 6th highest scoring flex eligible player right now. Like he's been like absurd this year. He's
playing like a wide receiver. Yeah.
He's like a top 5 wide receiver.
Yes. He's playing like a wide receiver, and you get to put him in your tight end spot. Because there's no other tight ends that can match him.
So if Kelsey has a 3 TD game, that's good because Savini has Mahomes. So that means those TDs aren't going to Hill.
Right.
So
that could be big. That could be big.
So that could be huge. And then Keenan Allen's just been an absolute stud. He plays the slot, so he's not going to get the Gilmore shadow, and the Patriots haven't really been that tough of a matchup anyway.
Herbert loves him.
I mean, his usage has just been incredible. Like he is, my God, Keenan Allen.
19 targets 2 weeks ago.
Right. He's just, I mean, this is going to be a close one. I mean, if Savini's QBs go nuclear, that's, he's got a much better chance to win. But man, like some of these players that he has, like Savini's got Ridley too, but I mean, Mike Williams, Hilaire, has been, pretty not great recently. He's been so. I mean, literally running back as a whole this year has been pretty much dog shit outside of Dalvin Cook.
Well, you gotta figure Ridley is not 100% healthy right now, and he's been banged up this year. Williams is just even ask Nicky about Mike Williams. He's either puts up 28, he puts up 0. So
he hates that dude.
Yeah, and then Fant is. I mean, I like the talent, but it's only Fant. I mean, and Hilaire has been so this year. I think looking at both the lineups,
Savini's team is incredible, but he's got avenues to underperform a little bit.
He's got cracks.
Ridley's been banged up.
Yeah, he's got cracks. I mean, the thing that also I'm looking at this matchup is Mahomes with Kelsey. If that could make a difference to it. That's why I'm gonna go with the Toucans in this with this matchup. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Cook.
Mike Williams easily could put up a two burger. Fant could put up like a 3 burger. Those are very realistic numbers.
I don't know about 2 and 3. I'll say more like 7 and 9. But I mean,
you're comparing them to Thielen and Kelsey.
Mike Williams has 5 games under 4 points.
No, he has.
That's what I'm saying. It's a very real. Yeah, I like him as a talent, but they don't. He just, as for fantasy football, he sucks.
Right.
At least this year, or
Savini doesn't. Been the same you don't really need those guys to do anything. I mean, if Watson puts up 35 and Hill puts up 45, then
you're
off to the races.
Well, it makes up for it.
Yeah, you're you know what I mean? And that's like we won't know until Sunday night because that's the Sunday night matchup. And
Right,
he also does have Fant in that game and Edwards-Helaire. So, Brian
Mhm.
really wants to be up like, what we'll say 90 points going into that game
Yeah.
because he doesn't have any.
I'm not going to
players.
feel comfortable no matter what going into that Sunday night game.
Well,
Like
no,
even
you
if
have
I'm almost gonna-
you have Kelsey. You'll have somebody. So
yeah, if I'm by 100 and he'll just get 60 again.
but at least
and
you
all of a
have
sudden-
somebody though, and it's somebody
Yeah.
that can score 25.
Yeah,
Pretty routinely. So like I think you definitely want to be up by if you're up by 50, you're like shitting yourself.
Chances are
Like-
the team's going to try to shut down Hill because of what he did last week. That's what's going to happen, and that's going to leave Kelsey wide open.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, think about it. I mean, that's if you're a defense,
Teams can't do that against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Though. They can't.
Yeah,
You
but
just
if you're a
can't do
defensive
it.
coordinator, you're going to say you're not just going to throw the ball. They're going to double cover Hill and it's going to leave Kelsey wide open.
I
but
don't
that's
think they
happened
can.
all year. Like you go into knowing that you have to cover Hill, and Hill still does this. So people are just beat it.
And it's not like Kelsey had a bad
Oh,
week
does it?
last week. I think he had like 8 for 80 or something like that. And he had like 2 or 3 like big catches called back on like holding or something. So, I mean, the Chiefs are just so pass happy right now. Like they're literally just throwing the ball like a fuck ton. Like,
well, that's why Edwards-Helaire.
I think they're revving up for the
So
playoffs. Like
too.
they want to win again, obviously, and they're just saying fuck it.
Yeah, and they're looking good too.
Yep.
I know.
The
So,
opposite
like,
of Gary.
Imagine if they just bench all their studs right now. Hill's not going to play this week. Kelsey's not going to play.
Hey,
We're in a playoff spot. We're just going to bench
we
everybody.
can't give
No, we
Garrett
want a
too much
better-
shit
we want
because
a better
Grizz did
draft
do
pick.
that. Grizz was the original tanker.
No, Nikki was, and I followed Nikki.
All right, Nikki was. Oh man, that's so weird.
Neither of them were champions though when they did that.
That's the big
That's the
difference.
thing that makes it a little different. I mean, I understand why he's doing it.
And we didn't have a playoff chance at a certain point.
And the league wasn't as popular because we didn't have the sleeper app yet. But
Right.
I mean, I definitely understand why he's doing it. I can't say I'd be doing the same thing in his shoes because obviously I'd want to win 2 in a row. But
No, I talked to him about it. I mean,
thinking about that
him,
6th
but-
spot too. Like, I mean, I don't know if he figured this out before we did, but I mean, I'm sure you don't want to exit in the first round playing.
He
one of the
like
top
I no, I
teams.
definitely get what he was looking at. He's like, I don't think generally just didn't think he can compete with some of the some of these teams, and he just
Which is fair. I mean, those 3 teams,
Yeah.
like Sam with Eckler and Henry, like those top 3 teams are a big cut above.
Which
where
is
we
like-
are.
That makes sense and that's fine, but you got to cut the dead weight before the deadline too. Like you can't just decide that you're just going to bench players and not win
yeah,
and not make any moves to make your team better. Like somebody could have used some of these players that he's using. Like someone could have used a Kenyon Drake or a Zeke or something, or a Godwin or something. Somebody, he's got talent here, then could have just traded it for assets like Allen Robinson, just people that can help push those other playoff teams further up. And he just did nothing and sat on it, where he could have got picks or could have got younger players.
He should have moved out the older players, and that's
Yeah.
that's
He
the
doesn't
thing.
really have a lot of
didn't.
older players though.
Well,
Like
well,
Zeke,
T.Y. Hill, and you probably could have gotten.
nobody's
a
trading
fourth
for
round
T.Y.
pick.
Hill, bro. That wouldn't
I
have
would have
taken. I would have
taken if I had a pick. I would have given like a 4th for T.Y. Hill.
And what about Rodgers, 37-year-old top 5 quarterback in a 2 QB league? Like that's the guy that you should have moved at the deadline.
I don't know. I mean, Rodgers seems like he's got some years left, and he's not like
That's
Rodgers
true.
isn't.
Yeah,
Rodgers
I agree with
isn't.
that.
Rodgers isn't scoring more than like 30 or anything. Like I think his highest game this year is
But the thing is,
with,
though,
with the
if-
bonus he scored over 30, but not without the bonus.
He's clearly looking to draft a quarterback. So you move Rodgers now.
He doesn't
and
have to
then
draft.
He's
the QB.
got Herbert.
He doesn't
Wait,
have to draft the QB.
That's why he's doing it, because he wants Lawrence.
No, he wants a lottery pick. He said that he wants either Etienne just think about like if the Steelers drafted Travis Etienne, like fucking like there you go.
I thought he said he wanted Lawrence, but maybe I.
Well, I mean, if you get the Lawrence pick, I mean, obviously you'll take a guy like that because everybody in the league's been hot for that guy for 2 years. Like Timmy obviously wants him, Bubs wants him. Haven't made that a secret. Then he could trade it. I know Garrett hasn't traded a ton, but
I just guess I would have rather have tried to win And then if I happen to not make playoffs, my reward is the pick. Where at least I know I went for back to back. I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
That's the reason why I would have done it. But
I mean, I would have went for it, but
I definitely understand. I understand why.
I definitely understand it, and that's the best part about Dynasty.
Completely wrong.
That's the best part about Dynasty is there's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah, he has logical points of why he's doing it.
Yes, and then I could respect that. He at least when I ask, or again when you ask him about it, he'll give you logical that makes sense. Okay, at least I understand what makes sense.
I mean
so I'm like, okay,
that number one pick is going to be.
That's all you can ask. Yeah.
That number one pick is going to be worth a lot. I mean, Timmy and Bubs have both not been afraid to be aggressive to go get a guy that they want. So if he gets that number one pick, I mean, he could be looking at some good offers.
Well, also if he gets that 101, I mean, we all know Adam has really wanted that, Lawrence pick. He could give up both his top 4 picks for the 101. And if he doesn't, and if Gary doesn't want, doesn't need a quarterback or doesn't want Lawrence, he'll take the 2 picks for 2 players instead of the 1.
This is going to be a good draft class. This is going to be a really good draft class.
I mean, honestly, every year they're going to, to an extent. I mean, last year was clearly looks really good. I mean, every draft is important.
Well, for Dynasty Superflex, 2 QB, whatever you want to call it, this is a particularly good draft class because 5 QBs are probably going to go in the first 20 picks.
Yeah.
So that pushes all the position players down. So that makes those seconds and thirds way more valuable than they normally are. So this is a good class. All right. We got 2 minutes before Zoom cuts us off. Any other final thoughts on this one, boys?
Go ahead, Brian. You can lead. You can close out.
I think there's some good scenarios here. I'm thinking, who do we think is going to miss the playoffs? I think
it's probably most likely looking like me right now.
I think so too.
Which is a bummer.
Probability hitch. Yes, probably hitch.
I'm bummed I traded my picks away for Taylor, even though I still believe in Taylor. I'm not giving up on somebody, just because of a no off-season, bummer of a rookie campaign.
He's not Trent Richardson. He's just not.
I say that as a joke, but he's definitely not.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Yeah, so that it will be a little bit of a bummer because I do like this draft class and I would like to have 3 firsts, but I went for it and I did come really close and I think I have a good team moving forward, so I'm not upset.
You also hit guys like you hit guys like Gibb or Antonio
Gibson, McLaurin.
Gibson, yeah, in the 3rd round.
Debo coming back was good, and I got Debo back. He was good last week.
So
should have played him. I would have got more points. That was stupid.
Do you want those 3 first? Yes, but it's not like you're desperate for them either.
No,
and you got Jonathan Taylor out of it, where he's going to at least have the. He's looked okay at times,
and he's not going anywhere. So
Hawkinson also looks like a stud. Having that tight end advantage, he could easily be the Kelsey going forward.
So.
Once Kelsey's done, because he looks good.
Yeah,
he plays for Detroit, so leave it at that.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
You don't know where Stafford's going.
All right, I think this was a successful pod. Thanks for coming on, Brian.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Brian.
Later, guys.
Peace.